What are some reasons why you might like a character? Okay, any form of fictional character. Doesn't have to be from anime, but what are some reasons why you might like a character? The abilities that they have, their personality. It might be something different that you haven't seen before, or it might be something that you know, like to see in a series, but with like an interesting little spin on it. Those can be reasons. Maybe the way that they, just little quirky things that they do, you might find funny or entertaining. Another reason, though, that you might like a character, or their personality to be specific, is if they're very similar to another character. Like, oh, okay, this character reminds me of that character, just with like little spin on it. That's Metal Bat to me. And the character that he reminds me of is Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. That is one of my all-time favorite animes, and the second I saw Metal Bat, I knew I was gonna like this dude. Alright? Kind of the same, you know, shit-talking, street punk-looking dude. Like, if you saw him walking down the street, and you looked at him for, like, longer than, like, 2 seconds, he'd be up in your face. Like, what you looking at, punk? You want beaten over the head? But in reality, he has, like, a heart of gold. He's actually a really nice guy, you know, takes care of his sister, gets pissed off when people don't perform proper table manners. You know, that's the kind of guy he is. Maybe with a little bit of Kuwabara mixed in there, too, because of the pompadour. But yeah, that's Metal Bat, and that's the reason I like him, and that he's just a hard-as-hell, shit-kicking superhero. Also, another reason to like him, I mean, it's pretty obvious, the dude literally rocks into battle with nothing more than his epic hairstyle and a baseball bat. Granted, it's an extremely durable baseball bat that was made specifically to combat monsters. There's actually an interesting little bonus chapter that was released once where, you know, before he became an S-class hero, Metal Bat was actually only ranked, you know, as a C-class. He was one of the lower tier ones. So he had to go around, and I just go and buy regular baseball bats at, like, the store, like this one, and, you know, beating up monsters with that. Well, those ones eventually ended up getting busted over and over again. So when he was promoted to S-class, the Hero Association calls him in and like, well, nice to meet you, Mr. Bat. Welcome to S-Class. You can make full use of all of the facilities here at the Hero Association, and hey, if you want us to make you like a specific weapon, or if you need anything that would help your hero duties, price is not an object, just come to us. And he's like, alright, I want a baseball bat. Like, oh, okay, you want a baseball bat? Well, obviously you're Metal Bat. Okay, so we can give you one that maybe has, like, guns or, like, lasers attached to it. Like, no. I just want a baseball bat that doesn't break. You guys can make me that, and we are copacetic. So, I guess Metal Knight is the one that did it. Probably something very easy for him. It's just like, what does he want? He wants a bat that doesn't... Alright, well, kind of... I'm imagining this is something like from Rick and Morty, you know? Like they go to Metal Knight and, like, make this indestructible bat, and he's like, God, you know, this is such a underuse of my talents. Just pulls out, like, here, this is a unbreakable metal that's mined 8 miles underneath the Earth's surface. Here, to use that to make the freaking bat or whatever. And so they created an indestructible baseball bat for him to use in combat, and that's just that, and his he has wicked fast reflexes, incredible godlike durability. The first time we see him, he announces, you know, whether it be demon or dragon, bring it on. That claim is actually not unfounded. They came out and stated, the author stated that, yeah, he could easily take on a dragon-level threat. From what we've seen throughout the story, he is able to do that. Maybe necessarily the type of dragon-level threat. If it's like an oversized, kind of like city, you know, wrecker kind of monster, you know, Metal Bat might have a little bit more difficulty because he doesn't have any sort of like really strong, long-ranged or like wide attack, you know, he can use to like hit something that's like really big, like the size of a skyscraper, like Elder Centipede was. But if it's like a dragon level threat that's like human sized, he might actually be able to, you know, give it a run for his money. Not saying he would win 100% of the time, but he could give it a run for his money. Right, so Metal Bat's shining moment in the story. It's not one particular fight. It is, but it isn't. It's not one particular fight in that just he had that one fight and then he won or he lost and then he went home. No, it's a series of fights, one after another, each one getting progressively more and more tough. And the fact that he was able to even stand up after all of it was over. Well, kind of. The point is here, endurance. Stamina. This guy has a redonkulous amount of freaking stamina. Alright, like, okay, so... basically, you know how like in an RPG, like I remember like the one I used to play all the time was RuneScape. That was like a huge MMORPG I used to play back when I was a kid. But in any RPG, there's probably like a trial or like a quest you have to go through where you have to fight progressively stronger enemies, and then finally you get to the big boss at the end. And if you defeat the big boss at the end, you get like an item or like a big EXP boost, but it's just like a freaking meat grinder on the way there. The one from RuneScape I remember was like the Tekking101 Jod thing, where you have to go through that volcano and keep progressively fighting stronger and stronger enemies until you get to Tekking101 Jod, which at the time was like the strongest enemy in RuneScape. Whatever, that's beside the point. That's not even relevant. But that point is, that's what freaking Metal Bat had to go through, right? So there was a moment where these two rich benefactors of the Hero Association, they're these really rich people that just, you know, funded the Hero Association, so the Hero Association had to keep them safe. So they're going out on the town to eat some sushi or whatever, and they had to assign a bodyguard to them. They were originally going to assign King, but King was busy doing that RuneScape, probably RPG thing I was talking about. He was busy playing a video game. So instead they assigned Metal Bat to the task, okay? So he shows up, he has a little bit of a back and forth between the rich people because, like I said, he's more of like a down-to-earth kind of street guy. I don't know exactly how old he is. The way he's dressing, and like I said, he reminds me of Yusuke. The way he dresses reminds me of like a middle school uniform, you know, that they would wear. So maybe he is, I don't know, he's like 15, 16 years old. I don't know, he might be. Well, that's more high school, but you know, he might be a school student. And he's very particular about like proper manners and everything, and so we get some interaction between them. Then, at the sushi place, two tiger-level monsters appear. We had the human-face birdgrass dude, and then we also had Junior Centipede arrive on the scene. So these are two tiger-level threats. Metal Bat bashes them off-screen. We don't even see how easy it was for him to take them out. It's just like, oh man, monsters! And the next time we see him, he's just chomping down sushi, standing on their corpses, like, please stop. And then, so Metal Bat's like, alright, is that all? No, that's not all, because next, two demon-level threats. We got Senior Centipede, who is the, you know, senior to Junior Centipede. You see where we're going with that. And then we had, the other one is Ralphelsidon, which is this monster that emits a really, like, a powerful tranquilizing odor that knocks his opponent out. So, there's a moment where there's, like, two demon-level threats coming at you, and, you know, demon-level threats are pretty powerful. And so, even some S-Class heroes have had problems with demon-level threats before, and there was a moment there where Metal Bat begins to get, you know, he starts to pass out from the odor. He gets the shit beat out of him by Senior Centipede, but at that moment, he does the very, you know, the most clever thing he can think of at that moment, bashes himself in the head with his own bat to knock him back into reality, and then proceeds to curb stomp both of them. And this right here, this shit right here, this is my favorite scene from Metal Bat. Let's just take a moment to analyze this, alright? Look at that freaking evil look in his eyes. That's the look of a guy that just, you know, got beaten up by someone, and now he's delivering sweet karmic justice to them. You beat me up pretty good back there. Let's see what I can do to repay the favor, you know, that scene right there, man, the look in his eyes, raising the bat over it, curb stomping his opponent, about to bring down the pain like a freaking slasher movie villain, and then just bam, and then bam, and then boom, done. Walking away, twirling his bat. Just any other day at the office for him. That was great. Just pools of blood. No longer even monsters. Just blood packs. Just exploding behind him. Oh man, I got a boner in that scene. I will admit I got a boner. But is that it? No! It isn't! Why would you think it's not? Let's keep this rolling until freaking midnight, right? So right after this, the superior of both the Junior Centipede and the Senior Centipede, Elder Centipede, which is this giant city-sized dragon-level threat, breaks out of the freaking ground, completely entangles the entire city, and just starts charging down at Metal Bat in the group. The Monster Association is very dedicated on getting these rich people to use as hostage, alright? This is the crap they pull out all the stops here. So, you have a scene with Metal Bat just looking up at this thing. This thing is literally, like, eclipsing the sky. It's the size of buildings. It's huge! You know, and he's just like, huh, dragon, huh? Okay, well, I've never fought something this big. Where do I even start with this? You know, he doesn't even consider his own injuries. He doesn't even consider the fact that that's not going to be able to beat it. He doesn't even consider the possibility. He's just like, how am I going to go about this? So he tries what he's best at. He tries just hitting it in the head as hard as he can, smacks him right there in the freaking side, to which he finds out that the dude is hard. The full power swing with this indestructible bat doesn't do anything to dent the back, doesn't really harm him at all, just kind of rings through his bones a little bit there. But then again, Metal Bat's bones are kind of like Wolverine's bones, you know, made out of like freaking adamantium or whatever, so it doesn't seem to harm him all that much. But he's like, huh, alright, that didn't work. Oh, gets knocked into a freaking building, gets back up, thinks, alright, let's try that again. But this time, let's aim for the face. So he jumps on top of this undulating centipede, you know, that's like stories high, and then, you know, takes this epic stance in front of it, grips his freaking bat so tightly you could probably compress diamonds in it, and then proceeds with dragon thrashing, and then just slams this thing's face in. And look at the agony on this poor thing's face. You know this thing has not experienced pain of this magnitude in forever. Alright, he responds with just undulating his body once again, causing Metal Bat to get flung miles away from it, because this thing is just so massive. But I like to imagine it did a significant amount of damage there. Okay, so that's it, right? That's done. Metal Bat got his one pot shot on the thing, but there's no way he can take down this thing. He gets sent flying like a few kilometers away, crashes into a freaking fence on the hard pavement. I think it's time to call it a day, right? No! Not yet! Have we not already established who this guy is? Garo! Hero Hunter Garo just happened to be walking by. Metal Bat just happened to crash down right next to him. This is no longer a coincidence, okay? This is a test from the gods on high. Fucking Zeus is up there along with Odin and all the other badass gods throughout freaking antiquity, and they're up there looking down on this freaking high school kid, and they're like, he might actually be one of us. Keep the battles coming. And then they direct him to land right next to Garo. They're getting popcorn ringside at this shit. You know, Thor, pass me the popcorn. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so he gets back up, strikes a pose, walks right by Garo, and is like, okay, I gotta get back to the fight. I gotta get back to the centipede. And they're like, he's going back to the centipede. Garo realizes at this point that, he's still conscious. I thought he was dead. All right, well, this changes things. So Garo proceeds to attack Metal Bat with his techniques. Remember, Garo is an expert at martial arts, the fist of flowing water crushing rock. So, you know, he's a worthy adversary here. That's another really cool scene I like from Metal Bat, just the art style. Maroda, I love that dude's art style, blocking the freaking attack with his bat, and he's just kind of like, you know, like nearing his eyes, just like, I know who you are. Alright, you want to fight? Bring it on. So Garo and Metal Bat proceed to get into a battle, just unloading blows, not daunted at all by all the damage he just took, being flung way up into the air and crashing down on the ground again, didn't even phase the dude. And it's in this fight that we really find out the innate ability that Metal Bat has. The more he gets beaten up, the more he gets exhausted, the stronger he gets. Does it make sense? Fuck no, but it's freaking cool, man. So, Garo notices this slowly, like no matter how much he gets hit, he keeps on coming back. Swings start getting faster, attacks get more devastating. Garo freaking flips a manhole cover out of the ground, chucks it at him like a freaking air hockey game. BAM! Just knocks that thing back at Garo, pangs it against a bunch of like light posts or anything, and sends it flying back at him, and he dodges it, so that was a cool scene. There's a scene where he jumps up in the sky, slams his bat down, misses Garo, hits the ground, every car in like a half-a-mile radius jumps up in the freaking air like a foot before crashing down. This dude is insane, and it's like, how, like even Garo's noticing, this kid is insane, okay? So, we finally get to his ultimate finishing move, right? Sticks his bat right out in front of him. It's like, I'm not gonna lose here. And right about here, right before he releases his devastating attack, I have to talk about the name of it. Alright? So, in the official translation, like the one I have right here, the one you can actually go and buy in the store, the name of this attack is Brutal Tornado, and alright, and it's just an attack where he just, like I said, not much to Metal Bat, okay? He doesn't sit around thinking of different really complicated attacks. Okay, this is one of his ultimate finishing moves. Just grabs his bat, spins his entire body around, creating this devastating vortex of nothing but pure pain and testosterone. Alright, and then just slams into his freaking enemy with that. So it was called Brutal Tornado in the official translation, which is aight, it's okay, but I remember the original translation of this, the unofficial ones, called it a much cooler name, which was Savage Tornado, and that's what I'll always remember this technique at. It's not Brutal Tornado, it's okay, but Savage Tornado, that's a finishing move, that's how you do it. Alright, now, Garo does manage to deflect and block this move. Okay, because he's got his, you know, his martial arts skills. He manages to block each strike of the bat, even though they're moving incredibly fast. You know, and he manages to, you know, blast back Metal Bat, even though he notices that, man, his Garo's bones, and, you know, Garo's pretty strong, too. His hands were shaking pretty hard at this after blocking these blows. That's how much force was behind it. And is that all it is? Is that everything? Okay, okay, come on now. 2 tiger level threats, two demon level threats, getting knocked back by a dragon level threat multiple times, getting sent flying a mile away, crashing into the ground, fighting against the hero hunter, taking a bunch of hits to the face by this trained martial artist. That's it, right? No, it's not it. It's not it. In fact, all of these fights, you'd think it would end with Metal Bat either, like the Valkyries literally coming down and accepting Metal Bat into Valhalla. It would either end that way, or it would end with Metal Bat just, oh, I can think of another badass way for this ending. Him just landing on the ground, sitting down at, like, a park bench, sitting his bat down next to him, taking out an orange juice, and, like, yeah. That would be another, I mean, come on now, that's goofy, but if Metal Bat would have done that, come on now, that would have been the funniest, most epic way to end that ordeal. But no, he gets back up as Garo is distracted by, oh man, that attack was strong. Oh no. Shows up behind him, and we get this scene. You get this scene right here. And, you could just basically caption that as, you know, fucked. just simply, no real clever, just fucked. And Metal Bat's about to deliver this just... We've stated how strong he gets, you know, the more he gets beaten down, and he's about to deliver this attack. But at that moment, his sister shows up, Zenko. Metal Bat is very protective of his little sister, and he cares very much for her. There might be a backstory there. Maybe their parents aren't around or anything, so maybe it's up to Metal Bat to it's just the two of them, and he has to care for his sister, but he cares very much about her. A running gag is, you know, he's at the Hero Association, and he's always like, you know, this is an important S-Class meeting to determine the fate of the world, but I'm missing my little sister's piano recital for this. You know, so that's something with him. So Zenko shows up and shields Metal Bat from Garo, and she states, you know, my brother always told me he would never fight in front of me, so that's against the rules. Garo seems a little bit, you know, he has a soft spot for kids as well, so he's just like, all right, I've already beaten your brother into oblivion. He's not getting back up, even though that last attack, if that would have connected, I don't know. Also, with that, we see this one scene here where he's about to launch the attack, but he gets interrupted, and we see Garo seemingly standing in, like, the epicenter of it. Now, that might be just the leftover remains of a former attack, but the way that I imagine it is just, like, the killing intent and the amount of pumped-upness that Metal Bat exuded had an effect similar to, like, Conqueror's Hockey from freaking One Piece. And the ground around Garo just split apart as if the ground itself is like, we need to get away from this. This is gonna hurt. And so that's what I like to think. But anyway, after this ordeal, Garo leaves, and Zenko is talking to Metal Bat, and Metal Bat gets back up and just, you know, proceeds to try to go and, I guess, fight again. But it's at this point where he finally just falls flat on his face. I guess that would be the kind of limit to his stamina there. But still, I mean, you can't really look at that and say, oh man, what a freaking wimp. Went through all of that crap and then he passed out. Man, I'll tell you what, I could have gone through at least 3 more Garos and 2 more dragon threats before I got that. No. If the author's goal was to show us just how freaking bad space ass Metal Bat was. You know, it's just like, let's show him fight 2 monsters and just take him out, no problem. No, no, no. Let's say him fight then 2 demon monsters and take him out. No, no, no. Dragon, no. Garo, no. You know, just keep on stacking shit on top of them. That's the upper limit of One Punch Man. It's just like, it's not just a simple thing. It's like, let's just keep adding things on top of it. Let's go above and beyond what other characters deal with in like other manga. In a different battle manga, it would just be 1 or 2 opponents, and that would be it. He would be like, Metal Bat takes out one opponent really easy, and then another opponent shows up, and he has like kind of a hard fight, and that's what happens. But no, let's just fuck it. Let's just keep stacking opponents. So since that fight, Metal Bat's been in the hospital with his sister. Oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but his real name is just Bad. That's his, well, he's bad, so I guess that would be, you know, very appropriate. So he's just in the hospital recovering, bandaged up pretty bad, but seems to have his game face on anyway, so I think he's gonna make a full recovery, yeah. The main reason he lost to Garo was because, as Garo stated, the same way with Tank Top Master, they're just physical fighters. That's all they are. They got no real, you know, bag of tricks, you know, not even like a unique fighting style like Watchdog Man did. It's just straight up brawling, you know, and that's how Garo was able to kind of deflect all the attacks and get some hits off on Metal Bat. But the thing that's so perplexing about him is just his sheer level of stamina that the dude's got. It's just bottomless from what it seems. And it really began to show Garo, like, what the full limit here is of, you know, what it means to be an S-class hero. You know, just the sheer level. I think he should be maybe, I would say, a little bit higher up than he is. He was ranked 16th, or maybe was it 15th, when he was first shown. Wait, it was Puri Puri Prisoner, then it was Genos, then it was Metal Bat, right, so he would have been 15th, but I think he got bumped down to 16th again, because I think Genos moved up once again, so I think he lost his position again. Now, whether or not Metal Bat's going to play a role in the upcoming arc, I don't think he will. The author's done a really good job so far of showcasing every single S-Class hero in this past arc, really what they can do and everything. You know, we had the fights with Genos, we have 2 fights with Genos now, with Garo and everything, but from what we've seen, Metal Bat is still in the hospital, so there's probably not a room for him to show up in the fight against the Monster Association coming up. But hey, I mean, if you could pencil him in there, if you can get him recovered and take out just another few monsters or so, that would be cool to see that. But I think it's going to still be a while before we see him again. But yeah, you keep rocking on, Metal Bat. You keep rocking on. Not a very complex character, pretty straightforward, but a character that you could have so much fun with in a manga like One Punch Man. Really, Metal Bat said it himself, you know, I'm just getting pumped up. That's all there is to it. So, yeah, keep on doing what you're doing. Hopefully we'll get a badass brawl with him again in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Signing out. By the way, who should I talk about next? Since we're not going in clear order, who's next? Flashy Flash. Let's talk about him next. He seems fun. Alright, Flashy Flash is next. Signing out, everyone.